Welcome to Bear Coffee. Today I'm going to just show you briefly how to roast your coffee beans in a skillet on a stove. And it's not rocket science. You shouldn't have any trouble. I'm going to do a brief video showing you the easiest way to do it. Although I'm not an expert. I've done it a couple times. Anyway, here we go. With Bear Coffee, we have 3 different blends and a few single origin coffees. And if you look at the back, that's what the green beans look like. And you will see the difference from the green and the roasted. Matter of fact, I will show you that. We have a Grizzly blend. We have Who Needs Hibernation blend. And we have Bear Claw blend, plus the other. I think we have Colombia, Sumatra, and Costa Rica available. So this is a fun project for you, and we hope you enjoy it. And let's show you the difference in the coffee between unroasted and roasted. I want to show you, this is both Colombian, roasted and unroasted, and you can tell the size difference. So basically what I'm trying to say is you've got a pound of Bear coffee in the bags, and you don't need to put the whole thing in a skillet because it'll expand and it'll lose moisture, and as it browns up it also expands. You'll have a lot more coffee to roast what you put in there. So anyway, that's the difference in the size of the green beans or the Bear coffee and the roasted. Look how beautiful. Okay, another couple things I want to go over. Today we'll be using a cast iron skillet. I guess you can use a non-stick skillet. I've done this a couple times, so I'm no expert, but this will give you an idea. That's a, whatever that thing is, and a wooden spoon to stir the beans. You need to keep the beans constantly stirred so you're roasting all sides. And whatever that thing is, we're just going to use that to pour the coffee beans in at the end. Now the coffee is very hot, so you just have to be careful. I'll probably use some oven mitts to stir with the cast iron skillet because the handle will get hot. And I might put the coffee in that. The coffee beans start to lose a thin layer of, it's called chaff. It'll start peeling off, get in the skillet. You need to keep that blown out of there, or at the end of the roasting process, blow it through either that or whatever that thing is. What is that? So anyway, you want to get rid of that chaff before you drink your coffee. I'm going to pause it. Isn't this fun? And another thing, coffee tends to smoke a little bit through the roasting process. So you need to have a ventilation system above your stove. Crank it on so it'll draw some of the smoke up through there. It's not crazy smoke, but it does smoke. So I'm going to reach up here and turn on the vent. Oh, I don't have a vent. So I got this cool fan, and I'm going to try to blow it out that way. So here we go. I'm going to give this a shot. I'm going to go ahead and turn the stove on. Now you can cook this on like a medium heat. Let me pause this up. Alright, we're getting the heat going. So I'm going to sit this on there just for a minute or two to get it hot. Just remember, you'll need with a cast iron skillet, you'll need this cool looking glove here. Something to hold on to that because it will get hot. You need your spoon, your wooden spoon. Again, doesn't have to be wooden, but for heat's sake and your finger's sake, wood is good. I like that. And this is a stirring device that you can use if you don't want to use a spoon. Okay, I've got the fire going, skillet going. I'm going to go ahead and put about a cup of beans in. You do not need oil or any kind of thing in the bottom of your skillet. Now what you want to do is just continue, just start now. Start keeping them, just shaking from time to time, just like the old Jiffy popcorn. It's basically the same concept. You want to just keep it going, keep it stirred so the coffee bean will roast evenly as possible. You want to make this roast last about 10 minutes, so at least 10, more if possible. So you'll have to work with your heat. If it starts, you'll see the beans start turning brown as we go along. But I'm going to stop it now so it doesn't get real boring, and then we'll come back when it starts showing some action here. Okay, we're back for just a minute or so, maybe. You can just start seeing the beans start to turn a little brown, some of them. We'll continue to stir. I switched to that stirring device, but we can get back to the wooden spoon. If you'll notice, there is some chaff, what's called chaff, and that's the beans losing a little layer of skin. It's almost like a snake losing its skin. And you'll see that. Now, from time to time, you might just give it a blow, and you'll see that chaff go everywhere. Now, the thing about that is you're going to have to clean up after yourself. You're going to get yourself in trouble. You'll never be able to do this again because someone will say you're making a mess. So you want to keep that chaff kind of out of there, and you can see it floating around. Now, every once in a while, blow it so it'll go behind the stove, and then you won't have to clean up as much. So, okay, we're going to take a little break here, and then we'll come back. You'll start hearing here in a minute on our next shot. You'll start hearing a popping sound. The coffee does a little popping here and there, like popcorn. Did you hear that? It's starting already. Blow that chaff behind the stove. Keep this thing going. All right. Well, we might crank the heat down just a little bit. It's starting to smoke. You'll see. Starting to get some action here. All right. We'll take a break and then we'll come back. Okay, here we are back just briefly. You can see we're really starting to turn some of these beans brown. You can start hearing the popping. If you can hear it. Now there's two different pops. If you roast this long enough, you'll hear a second crack. It's called the second crack. But right now we're just we're getting the first one, getting some chaff here and there. Remember to blow that out a little bit from time to time. In the ending process, when we pour it in the colander, I guess what that thing's called, then we can blow it out better and cool it off. Now you can start. I'm going to crank that down a little bit more. I think we've got the heat going pretty good. It's starting to smoke. Don't panic. Keep your heat under control. Keep it going. You want to get those beans pretty roasted. Now some of you like it a light roast, and that's the beauty of roasting your own coffee. You could stop it right here and it would probably taste pretty good. But for me, I keep roasting, get it pretty dark. I'm not a real burn the coffee kind of guy. I want it to keep its flavor. All these coffees that you'll be getting through Bear Coffee is there's some really good flavors in those blends and in the coffee you'll be getting. So you don't want to burn it to the point where all that flavor goes away. You could drink this, like I said. Of course, after you grind it and put it in water. All right, we'll be back. Okay, now, if you listen real close, you can hear the cracking going on. Some of those beans are getting pretty good shape. There's the chaff coming off. Now you can leave that chaff in there through the roasting process and then try to get rid of it here once we dump it into the colander or whatever you're going to dump it in. Whatever you make sure you do not dump it into plastic. This is going to be very hot. So don't dump it in anything like a strainer or anything that's plastic, because it'll melt that sure as the world. So, you know, like I said, everything gets hot. You see that switch over? Catch that? That was from the stirring device to the wooden spoon. I do that, and I'm a professional. Okay, you can see we're getting some smoke. Beans are looking pretty good. I'm about ready to dump this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to blow it a little bit. There's going to be quite a bit of chaff, so you're going to have to deal with that once you put it in the colander. I'm going to go snag my colander, which I guess is what this ugly orange thing is. But make sure it's metal, remember, with a lot of holes in it. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to crank that heat off, and I'm going to get ready to carry it over here. Okay, I'm going to take it over to the sink, and I'm just going to pour that coffee. Now remember, I can't stress highly enough, that is hot. And look at that. You want to take that outside, because you're making a heck of a mess there. So we're going to put the skillet somewhere where it doesn't burn something, and we're going to take this outside, because we are making a mess, and I'm getting a boatload of trouble. Okay, what I'm doing is we've got to cool these beans off. Now they'll continue to cook for a while. You definitely don't want to stick your finger in that. Just keep shaking it, blow on it from time to time. Let's remove as much of that chaff as we can. You want to get that out of there. And by doing this, now, as you continue to roast, if you love to do this, which I do, there's other equipment online. You can go and watch videos and get some blowers and things to blow that. But right now, I just kind of blow it out of there. You can see that chaff going out of there, and just keep shaking it, and it's continuing to roast a little bit. Like I said, it's hot. Make sure you put your skillet on something in there that wasn't going to burn. And you can see the beans, how they've roasted. Some of them a little darker than others. That's all right. That's going to make it taste really good. So what you want to do is, once you get that cooled down a little bit, like I said, don't stick your finger in there until it's cool. You want to get it to a place you can pour it in a cookie sheet and kind of just, let it cool off there. Hopefully it's cool outside, and you can do that. And then put it in a jar or something to store it. Let it sit for you could let it sit for a day. If you're camping out, you could do it the night before. You could probably drink it the next morning. It'd be all right. But you do want to let it sit for a while, several hours. So cook it on your fireplace or your campfire. Cook it on your grill. Like I said, there's a lot of different ways to do it. I just wanted to show you this. So as far as that goes, it's a done deal. Just put it in a jar, let it sit, and you'll be able to enjoy some really good coffee. And thank you.